Baozhen Luo joins us now for more on the Chongyang Festival. She's an associate professor at Western Washington University, where she specializes in social theories, global China, population aging, and globalization. So I think we've got all the categories that kind of fit right here. This festival honors the elderly, and as you know, this group is really growing in numbers. It's an explosion in growth of seniors in China. Because of that, what are some of the challenges the country's facing, do you think?
Well, China has done a really good job in the last 3 decades, really providing the services and all the supporting infrastructures to really integrate the seniors who are still able, still vital, and into the economic and social life. And China also done a very good job of providing more services to elders who are needing intense long-term care. So I feel in China the challenges are threefold in particular. The threefolds are financing, service infrastructure, and labor force. So in particular, this is really referring to the population in need of long-term care. And China has done well doing quite a bit of long-term care insurance piloting scheme in the past decade or so. And last year, they just expanded this to 14 provinces. It's very promising. And in terms of service infrastructure, China has done really well. Making good strides, still need more effort into cultivating a very healthy long-term care service market. And then the third one, I think this is the biggest challenge I think China is going to have to face head on in the next couple of decades, which is the long-term care, the elderly care workforce. This is a very interesting sector. Defying all the supply and demand theory. With greater demand, there will be greater supply. While what we see in the care sector, especially the care sector for the elderly, is despite massive demand for services, we just don't see a great deal of supply of long-term care workforce. And I think this is where the government, the Chinese government and community really need to become very creative. How do you attract people to this sector and for them to stay?
You know, it's so interesting. The last time I was in China, and obviously I haven't been there for quite a while because of COVID-19, not much travel going on these days. But last time I was there, and this has been a trend for some time, if you go out with friends and you're having dinner, they pull out the phone. Nobody has a wallet that they grab or money or a credit card. Everything is done with these mobile apps. And so I thought it was really interesting watching this story from the university that we just saw, because this is really kind of, when you're elderly, if you don't understand the new technology, you can be left out kind of high and dry. So this is really important, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very important to integrate the elders into fully as possible into the economic and social life. And China being a cashless society, being a smartphone society, all of this is really leaving. I mean, I feel this is a different kind of digital divide, by age, by generation, and by integrating them into that digital life, it's not only good for the economy, but it's really good for their well-being. And I want to really point out, last year, China really passed a serious legislation effort to really push forward to make greater strides in that regard. And I want to really focus. One of that part you guys talked about in the previous video was the fraud element. The elderly are particularly vulnerable when it comes to this rampant market, because as we see, especially the older generation, they have not experienced the market as much as the younger generation. And then not to mention the digital market where the money is not seen, right? Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
I commend the people, the faculty and student in Shanghai University for what they do.
It's terrific. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your insights.
Thank you for having me.